welcome back to another episode of Is This Thing On? So today, first of all, I want to just say sorry for not posting an episode for nearly 2 weeks. And I'm going to be straight up with y'all because I think I owe it to myself and to everybody on here that has been listening. I have not been feeling it. I really have not. I have not been feeling like getting up and doing a podcast. And I know that is one of the probably most laziest excuses that I can have, especially because this is a project that I started. Nobody forced my hand into doing a podcast. Like, I wanted to do this because I like talking. And I like having a platform where I can do that besides YouTube and my social media. So I haven't been using it as I should. So I'm sorry for that. I also want to apologize because frankly, another lazy excuse of mine, but I kind of have like the quarantine blues. I have been really, really just feeling unmotivated, uninspired, bored. I feel like I bore you guys with these podcast episodes, and at one point I considered just stopping this podcast altogether because I was like, what's the point? Because I feel like I'm not entertaining or funny enough or real enough on here or interesting enough to even have a podcast, and to think that people would be interested in hearing me blab for 30 minutes to an hour. So that's another reason. And then, just my mental health too. It's just kind of been up and down and all over the place. And it doesn't help if you're a lady, I think you know what I'm gonna refer to, but when it's that particular season, then it doesn't help to be in that particular season, if you know what I mean, and you get all in your feels, and TBH and TMI, but I am in that little season right now, and I'm feeling all the feels, and when I'm feeling all the feels, in the words of Shawn Mendes, there's nothing holding me back. So, yeah, those are the three main reasons why I haven't, recorded a podcast episode in, when was the last one? I think maybe 2 weeks ago. Yep, like 2 weeks ago. Last one was on, what is it? Let's go to the podcast app and find out. Because I don't even remember the last time I posted. I really don't have a recollection. I think the last time I posted, May 4th. So it's been well over 2 weeks, guys. And I just want to apologize and say that I'm sorry. I really am. I truly, truly freaking am sorry. But unfortunately, today's episode is going to kind of be a gloomy one. Because I'm just gonna get real with you guys for a second. I think my best content and my best ideas kind of come out when I'm just like not forcing myself to do something. And I know YouTubers have talked about this and celebrities have talked about this, and I am by no means on that scale of celebrities or YouTubers or whatever. But I don't want this podcast to feel like a chore that I have to do. And then Monday rolls around and I have absolutely no content to post for you guys. And I don't want to be like, I have to post a podcast episode. Because you know what? I'm sorry. I know I've only done this podcast for about, January, February, March, April, May. 5 months. Oh my God, we're on 5 months of doing this podcast. Almost 5 months, right? Of doing this podcast, more or less, right? And I've gotten to a point sometimes where I'm like, oh, I have to record a podcast episode. And then when it rolls around and the podcast comes to me last minute, I'm kind of just like, do I want to post it? Because I haven't researched it enough. I haven't really given much thought into what I'm going to say. And for these podcasts, I don't have a script. Some people write out what they're going to say in a podcast. That's not me. It's not me. I just kind of go with the flow. And, but yeah, like today's episode's probably just going to be a little venting slash therapy session for me. And if you're one of my close personal friends, I think you've already heard me talk about this since yesterday. This podcast is being recorded on Thursday, May 20th. I don't know if I'm going to post it tomorrow or on Monday. I think I'm going to post it tomorrow. So if I don't, hold me to it. And then Monday's episode will hopefully be a more cheery and more exciting one. But for today, for my sanity, and because this is my platform after all, I'm just going to talk about kind of like what I've been going through. So, I know I talk about dating and love a lot on here, but originally, guys, this was gonna be a dating podcast, but I don't have enough experience in that to talk about that. So, for the sake of my inexperience, I'm not gonna solely make it a dating podcast, although I will talk about a lot of like topics like dating and love and all that jazz on here if you want me to, if you will allow me to, if you keep me. You know what? I don't have to ask permission. Again, it's my freaking podcast. Anyways, so since yesterday, yeah, let me check. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. Let's see. Let's run down the mill. Okay, since yesterday, I have been in my feels. If you're a lady, you know why. But, I'm gonna be honest. So, I've briefly have talked about this person on this podcast. It's a guy, if you didn't already know. I'm not gonna mention his name. I don't want to get sued. Also, I just don't think it's respectful for me to call someone out like this. But it is my podcast, and I have the right to vent and talk about whatever I want to talk about. So, if you're gonna track me down and hunt me down and ask me for a name for this person, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna give it to you. You are my close personal friend. You know who I'm talking about, and I give you permission to exit out of this podcast episode because you've heard it before, you've heard the story regurgitated. Frankly, you're probably sick of it, and I'm so sorry you're having to put up with my feels right now. But I'm going to talk about it because I feel like one point or another, this can resonate with some of you guys, and I guess it's just that I miss this person, okay? I'm gonna just be honest. If they ever come across this podcast or this podcast episode, cool, great. Just being honest on here, but if you are listening to this podcast, person that it's about, I miss you. I miss you. I was thinking about you yesterday, and you just popped into my head for absolutely no reason. Like, no reason whatsoever. I was doing perfectly fine. And then, I am feeling all sorts of emotions. You got me feeling emotions. Just like Mariah Carey. I'm sorry, guys. I will make a lot of musical and song references in these episodes. That's just kind of the person I am. Like, if you've ever seen New Girl, Jess, the character, that's basically me in a nutshell. I love to sing. I love to just bust into song, and so you'll hear me just make a lot of little music references and puns and everything. And if that's not your cup of tea, as always, you have the right to exit out of this episode. But anyways, I'm sorry. That's part of my character, part of my persona. Anyways, so it's been quite a while, actually, since I've last spoken to this person. I guess I should give a little backstory about them, okay? So, you know what? It's kind of funny that this is the second time I talk about the same person, because the first episode of this podcast is actually about this exact same person that I'm talking about. And they're getting a second one. Man, I must really, really care about them. Too bad they don't care about me. Truth hurts, honey. Anyways, so I'll give some preface. I'll preface it. I'll give a backstory. Almost 2 months ago. I can't believe we're already like 2 months into this quarantine, right? It's very, very insane to think about that. But slowly things are returning to quote unquote normalcy, whatever that is anymore. Around my birthday, I got a text from this person that I've been thinking about. And we're friends. We're friendly. I would say, and I didn't want to admit this for a long time, but I would say this person is more of an acquaintance than a friend. A good friend of mine pointed out that he saw us and how we interact, and he was like, "No, y'all are more of acquaintances." And I'm like, I didn't want to believe it at first because, I like this person. But yeah, we're acquaintances for sure. We're friendly-ish. Okay, so around my birthday, I got a text from this person, right? And I didn't think I was going to get a text because he's not much of a texter, and he would usually only text me when I would text him, right? And so I wasn't expecting a text. I thought if I did get one, great, lovely, awesome, cool. But I wasn't expecting it. But then I remembered that a few years ago, maybe like 1 or 2, 3 years ago, he asked me when my birthday was because he was going to put it in his calendar. So apparently that's a thing. Thought that was kind of sweet, kind of cute, kind of nice, whatever. So I have his birthday saved on my calendar as well. Anyways, but he messaged me a day after my birthday, and he put, "Hey, blah, blah, blah. I know it's a day late. I meant to text you yesterday. But happy birthday. How old are you? Blah, blah, blah," right? So we texted, we made small talk, just asked him how he's doing, how he's coping with this quarantine, right? A few days later, I text him again because, he made the approach to text me because it had been my birthday. I just was wanting to make conversation with him because I hadn't seen him in a bit, had been a bit, even though I bump into this person when I would go to the gym. And so, making small chat, small talk, whatever you want to call it. And then this person tells me that I had pissed this person off. I get it. You were playing a video game, you didn't want to be disturbed. Absolutely get it. You didn't have to be rude about it. You didn't have to phrase it that way. You could have phrased it a different way. I understand that we're all busy with our things. For some people, it's video games. Other people, it's their work, their job, their life, their kids, whatever it may be. You know, we all have our stuff that we are dealing with. And, you know, the last thing I would want to do is interfere with or disrupt whatever it is they have going on. I am not the kind of person to do that. I don't like to do that. I get the hint. I get it. Like, you're busy. All right, I'm not going to text you back. I'm not going to pester you, you know? Not my thing. I respect boundaries, and I try to do that, right? So, fast forward to... Actually, no. We need to still keep talking about this. So, I may have overreacted in how I approached this, and I was a little bit hurt, not gonna lie. It stung a little bit. And I think where I went wrong was that I said that I had never wanted to talk to him again. And I feel like ever since that happened, this person took it literally, and now they probably don't want anything to do with me. So fast forward now to about, I want to say, a month ago, right? I texted him in April 13th at 5:59 p.m. if you want to be exact. So this was well over a month ago. Time has passed, and I realized I overreacted. I'm sorry. I'm working on not taking things too personally. I was hurt, but I'm not one to be angry or resentful. We may not see eye to eye all the time, but I value our friendship. I hope you and your family are doing well. Right? Nothing wrong with that text message that I sent. In fact, before sending that text, I actually sent that text to a lot of my friends to try to see if what I was texting this person was okay. All of them told me it was okay. It was fine, what I had texted, right? Nothing wrong with that text. So yesterday, I was in my feels. I still am in my feels, therefore that's why I'm talking about this in my podcast, right? And I ended up texting this person, hey, just like a simple hey. I was going to say some more stuff, but I thought, like, there's no point, right? I was, like, on my walk with my dog, and I was thinking, like, I really, really miss this person. I really, really want to know what they're up to. I would really like to be friends with this person again, and I feel like I just messed that up, and they want absolutely nothing to do with me. And so I ended up just texting a simple hey. And yeah, like, that's what I texted, right? And I texted this yesterday I was on my walk with my dog, by the way. I walk my dog every day at 9:31 p.m. So it was, like, relatively a little bit late, you know? And so, yeah, like, I have not gotten a response from this person, and I think at this point it would just be healthier for me to just not care anymore and not be in my feels so much about someone that clearly doesn't want to talk to me, doesn't care to respond, doesn't want anything to do with me. And by non-verbally communicating and not saying anything, he's already setting the boundary of, I don't want to talk to you. And I need to respect that. I can't cross that boundary. This person clearly wants nothing to do with me, and it's hard. It's really, really hard, I think, to come to terms with the fact that something has ended. Whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship, I think I've said this before. If I haven't, I'm gonna say it again. But I think it's sometimes harder to um, I think it's harder sometimes to get over a friendship breakup rather than a relationship because, you know, you you formed a really special bond with this person and you guys were in each other's lives for a little bit. And once they're not in your life, it's almost like this chapter of your life is now erasing. It's coming to an end. It's coming to a close. And I know this person and I were not very close, but I really, really, really enjoyed the conversations we had and the times we would hang out. And it was just great. This person, I'm trying to, I'm trying to not call them out. I'm not going to call them out. This person is very smart, incredibly smart. I admire them a lot. I admire their work ethic. I'm not trying to put them on a pedestal. I really am not. But they're hardworking. They're smart. They're straightforward. They know what they want out of life. And every time we got together for a cup of coffee and talked, we had such deep and meaningful conversations, and they were great. And I think one of the best human experiences we can have, besides, being in love and being friends with someone, is like a deep, meaningful conversation with someone. I think when you can get to that point, I don't know, it's almost euphoric in a sense. And for me, I really, really love deep, meaningful conversations. I like to delve into someone's mind and really get to the nitty-gritty stuff and find out what they're about. I know this sounds like I'm a freaking private investigator, but I love getting to know people and how they work in their mind, and hence why I went into the field of psychology. But yeah, getting over someone that doesn't care about you, whether it's a relationship or a friendship or an acquaintance, it's hard. It really is hard because you invest so much of your time and um, you invest so much of your time and efforts to get to know someone and get to see how they are. And then when they don't reciprocate that back, it's kind of just like a slap in the face. And I'm an overthinker. I overthink, I overanalyze, I question everything, absolutely everything. It is not a healthy habit of mine. It is something I'm not proud of. It is something I'm grappling with on a daily basis, right? I'm sorry for all the background noise you're gonna hear. My family is just, there's something, okay? I love them, but there's something. And yeah, like, I grapple with overanalyzing and overthinking and just thinking that something is there when it really isn't. And I think that maybe I probably should have stopped contacting this person right when they sent that text. Because clearly that shows a side of their character, right? You know, I think there's certain ways we can go about approaching people, um, even when we don't like them. I think there's ways to go about it in a respectful manner um, that is not going to, what's the word? That is not gonna, I guess, like, I'm trying to think of the word, you guys. I'm sorry. I guess that's not going to call them out in a shameful way. And I'm going to preface this again, but this episode, or me talking about this person on this podcast, is not meant to talk badly about them or to say anything bad about them. I'm merely just expressing the things that I'm going through. I'm being real, I'm being authentic, I'm sharing the human experience that is my messy roller coaster life. Okay? So, I think that this is very, and I've said it before, but this is incredibly, like, therapeutic for me to just sit here for like a few minutes and just kind of like talk about this and really get to process it. And then once I am done recording this and I look back at it, I look back at this recording, I can really just almost like try to let it go and try to realize that, you know, if someone wants you in their life, they will make the conscious effort to be in your life. They will reach out, they will communicate, they will put in their time and an effort and really try to be there for you. Maybe not 100%, but somewhat. And at this point, I had accepted, because yes, I did like this person for a while. I'm just going to admit that. I had accepted that there was probably nothing that was ever going to happen between me and this person, romantically speaking. But I still wanted to maintain a quote-unquote friendship with this person. And just talk to them and see how they're at. Because even if I haven't talked to someone for years or a few months or a few weeks, and they've somehow have been a part of my life for like a little bit, you know, I'm the type of person that I'll message them. I'll message them and I'll be like, hey, how you been? What's happening? How are you? Are you alive? Like, how are you doing? I like to check up on people. I like to see how they're doing. I like to know that even though we haven't talked, we haven't heard from each other in a while, I still care about you and I care enough to reach out. Because I think at the end of the day, no matter how independent or self-sufficient we are, we still crave that validation and that attention and that emotional support. So, yeah, I think that there.
Like I said, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with expressing to someone that you care about them and you want to be there for them, because at the end of the day, we need some kind of support. Even if we're not super close to that person, but just to let them know that if they're dealing with something, that you're there for them. Even if you're not close, even if you're not exactly friends, but you're there to hear them out. And I think we all just need someone to talk to sometimes, whether that's to God, a family member, a friend, a significant other, even a stranger on the street. I mean, stranger danger, right? Proceed at your own caution, but keep it at 6 feet. But yeah, I mean, sometimes we just need that. And again, like I keep saying this, I don't know why I keep having to prove this to me or to you guys, but I'm not doing this to defame his character, to talk bad about this person. No, absolutely not. And I would hope that if they ever do come across this podcast or this podcast episode, that they know that my intention with this is that I care for them. My if they ever want to reach out to me when they are ready, that they can. And yes, I'm going to be cautious with how I proceed with things if they choose to reach out, right? Because we can't just let anyone just walk all over us and treat us or make us feel a certain way and then not deal with the consequences. But if they ever want to talk, my door is open. Um, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to shut them out. I think it's always okay. I'm a big believer in second chances, and we're all human. We all mess up at the end of the day. We're all faulty. We all say things we don't mean. We all are very much governed by our emotions, some more than others. And I think I'm just one of those people that gets in my feels too much and ends up writing songs about the things that she goes through, particularly with guys. I'm not trying to be Taylor Swift. Let's just get that thing straight. I admire Taylor Swift. She's gone through a lot. Her songs have helped me get through things, and I do like her music, but I'm not trying to beat her. I like songwriting. It's something I've done since I was younger. I used to songwrite as early as like fifth grade. Granted, those songs weren't great, and you'll probably never see the light of day of those songs. But when I finally do put out music, I really hope that the one thing people get out of it is that they can resonate with it, they can relate to it, and they can feel it. I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with feeling things. I really don't. I think the longer we prolong feeling something, the stronger that feeling gets, and then we never truly learn how to deal with our emotions and our feelings in a healthy capacity. And we never build, I guess, that sort of um what's the word? We don't build, I guess, that healthy connection between us and our feelings. And I understand that we're not supposed to sulk in them for a long period of time, because I know that that will only make us feel worse. But if we don't deal with the stuff that we're currently dealing with in the moment and allow ourselves to be present and truly grapple with whatever it is we're going through, we're never going to be able to surpass that. And I understand that not everybody is a feely person. You don't have to be. But for your own sanity sometimes, um, you have to kind of just let yourself take a moment and cry it out, feel it out, write it out in a journal, um, and let yourself go through that. And once you do, once you've given yourself that little self reflective moment, then you can move on. I think you feel a lot better. Um, it's almost like when you um, it's like when you have had like an open wound. What happens to an open wound if you don't treat it? It gets infected. It gets ugly. It gets messy. Um, Same thing with our hearts and with our feelings. If we don't examine how it is that we're feeling, um, we're never gonna truly learn to um, value ourselves and value others and make sense of how something is making us feel. Again, I'm not saying you have to sulk in your feelings and your emotions, because oftentimes letting your emotions get the best of you is probably not the best thing, but I think it is necessary to some capacity to let yourself experience that. It's okay to have a little cry, to sit there, to wallow for a little bit, to write it down, to write a song about it, to do a whole podcast segment on it, and then realize that once it's done, once it's said and done, you can move past it. And I just want to encourage anyone who's out there who's feeling discouraged, who has let heartbreak and friendships and just their feelings get the best of them. You're not alone. And this is going to sound stupid of me to say, but I love you. And if you need someone to talk to, I'm always here for you guys. I would hope that, we can have more open and healthy dialogues like this, and people wouldn't get shamed for the things they're going through. And again, once again, I will mention it a billion times. If this person that this podcast is about, this episode is about, ever listens to this, hi. I hope you're having a great life. I hope you're living it the best that you can. I hope you receive all the blessings and you reach your full potential and your full dreams. I wish you nothing but the best. I don't have any resentment for you. I don't have any hate towards you. I am setting you free. Making it sound like this person was a bird and they were trapped in a bird cage. You know the saying, if you love something, you set it free, right? I care for this person a lot and I just want them to do well. I think that's all we can do sometimes. We can just wish someone well. And that's what I hope. I'll probably see them sometime soon in the future. But until that happens, I'm just going to try to move on with my life, carry on with the things that I need to do, and not let someone or something or a feeling get the better of me. And you shouldn't either, because you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're worth everything. And shouldn't take another person for you to see that. I think that we need to find that within ourselves. And yeah. Sorry, guys. I kind of want to cry right now, but I'm not about to do that on this podcast episode. I don't want to make anyone cry, or I don't want to just have a full-blown crying session with you guys. But yeah, it's pain. Seasons of pain, seasons of love. We all go through them. Just matters how we go through them and how much stronger and resilient we'll come out of it. So, guys, as usual, like I've always said, I have a podcast number for this podcast. You can call it. It's at 956 278 0720. And as always, you can leave me a voicemail message. You can leave me podcast topic suggestions. You can tell me how lousy I am at keeping up this podcast. It's fine. Sometimes I need a little bit of tough love, a little bit of constructive criticism. Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts. So if you have a moment of time, call the number. That is 956 278 0720. Again, 956 278 0720. One more time, 956 278 0720. So, yeah, call it, do your thing. There's also a voice message link at the end of this in the podcast description, in the podcast show notes, in the description, whatever platform you're using it on. You can go on there and just click it, and you can leave me a little voice memo if you want. I'm not coercing you to do it. As always, I hope you guys are doing well. Summer is upon us. I really hope that things are slowly starting to calm down, and hopefully the second wave of coronavirus is not as bad as people are making it out to be, and hopefully we can just learn to take more precautions and be more conscientious of our health and our well-being and of others. So as always, guys, please be kind, please be empathetic, please uplift each other and support each other. I love you all, and as always, go forth, prosper, and God bless. Bye, guys. Love you all.